You did it again. Something good was right there, and you found a way to ruin it. Maybe you don't even know exactly how it happened, but somewhere in the back of your mind, a quiet part of you already saw it coming, and that part wasn't even shocked. What if the biggest thing standing between you and the life you want isn't bad luck, isn't other people, isn't the wrong timing? What if it's just you, quietly, without realizing it, pushing everything good away the moment it gets too close? This is called self-sabotage, and the reason it's so hard to catch is because it never feels like self-destruction. It feels like being careful. It feels like protecting yourself. It feels so normal that most people spend years doing it without ever connecting the dots. Until one day, they look back and realize every time something good showed up, they were the one who made it leave. Think about the last time things were actually going okay. A relationship that felt warm. A job that was starting to come together. A moment in life where things finally felt stable. And instead of just letting yourself have it, something in you got uncomfortable. You started looking for problems that weren't really there. You went cold for no clear reason. You created distance and couldn't explain why, even to yourself. And slowly, something that was genuinely good started falling apart with your hands all over it. This happens more than people admit, and it makes complete sense when you understand why. If you grew up around chaos, around love that came and went without warning, around people who made you feel safe and then didn't, your brain learned something early, that good things don't last, that stability is just the quiet before something goes wrong. So now when something good shows up, your brain doesn't relax. It gets suspicious, and it would rather you leave than wait around to get left. It would rather you ruin it than sit there waiting for it to fall apart on its own. There was a chance right in front of you, something real, and instead of taking it, you opened a 47-tab browser in your brain and started researching every possible way it could go wrong. What if I'm not ready? What if I fail? What if I try my best and it still isn't enough? And while you were running every disaster through your head, the moment quietly disappeared, and you told yourself it just wasn't meant to be. But here's the honest truth. You were there. You saw it. You just thought your way out of it. Overthinking feels like preparation. It feels responsible and careful. But most of the time, it's just fear wearing a very convincing disguise. Because if you never actually try, you never actually find out what you're capable of. And some part of you decided that not knowing was a lot safer than finding out the answer might be not enough. You've done this one, and you know it. You get excited about something new, a goal, an idea, something that actually matters to you. You start with real energy. You tell a few people about it. And then, somewhere in the middle, without any big dramatic reason, you quietly stop. You tell yourself you lost interest. You tell yourself the timing wasn't right. But the real reason is much quieter than that. Starting feels safe because nothing can fail yet. But finishing means showing the world something real. And showing the world something real means it can be judged. And if it gets judged and found not good enough, then maybe that says something about you too. So you stay in the middle. Because something unfinished can always still become something great one day. But something finished can be told it isn't. And that feeling, that risk of being told you weren't enough, is scarier than never finding out at all. Things are actually going well with someone. They're kind. They show up. They remember the small things. And then you do something. You pick a fight over something that didn't really matter. You go quiet for days with no explanation. You say something that puts a crack in something that was solid. And slowly, the person pulls back. And somewhere inside you, a small part feels relieved. Because this is the part you already knew was coming. You just made it happen first, so it would hurt a little less. This is one of the most painful forms of self-sabotage because it costs you real connection with real people who actually cared. But it makes complete sense. If the people who were supposed to stay kept leaving when you were younger, your brain built a rule around that. People leave. It's only a matter of time. So instead of waiting and hoping and trusting and then getting hurt anyway, you take control. You end it before it ends you. It feels like protection, but it keeps you alone in a way you never actually chose. Here's what ties all of this together. Self-sabotage almost never comes from weakness. It almost always comes from one very old belief that got planted in you a long time ago, that you don't fully deserve good things, that happiness is borrowed, that if something feels too good, something bad must already be on its way. And that belief didn't just appear. It was built slowly by things that hurt you when you were too young to make sense of them, by people who let you down when you needed them most, by moments that quietly taught you the world wasn't safe to trust. Your brain learned those lessons and held on to every single one of them. And now, every time something good gets close, it pulls out that old worn-out map and follows it without question. Even when the map is completely wrong for where you are today. even when everything around you has changed. The map hasn't, not yet. You can't stop something you can't see, so the first step isn't fixing anything, it's just noticing. The next time something good shows up and you feel that familiar pull to run, to overthink, to slow down, to push someone away, just pause for 1 second and ask yourself this one honest question. Am I doing this because it's genuinely wrong for me? Or am I doing this because a part of me is scared of what happens if it actually works out this time? That one question, asked honestly, not to judge yourself, but just to see clearly, can quietly change everything. Because the moment you can see the pattern for what it really is, it loses a little bit of its grip on you. And slowly, one small moment at a time, you start making different choices. Not perfect ones, just different ones. If you recognized yourself somewhere in this video, please don't turn it into another reason to be hard on yourself. Self-sabotage is not a personality flaw. It's not proof that you're broken, or difficult, or too much. It's just a very old way of keeping yourself safe that made complete sense once and stayed around longer than it needed to. You learned to protect yourself the only way you knew how back then, and honestly, that took strength. But you're allowed to learn a new way now. You're allowed to let good things stay. You're allowed to finish what you start, to trust the people who show up, to take the chance even when it scares you. You have always been allowed to. Nobody just told you that clearly enough until now.